In today's video, we will discuss about one more good performing small cap fund, but unfortunately, this fund is not that popular. Yes, I am talking about Nippon India Smallcap Fund. Here, we will check its performance using real data, and by the end of the video, we shall be able to know why this fund is not so popular and also compare it with a 5-star rated fund, that is Axis Smallcap Fund, and decide whether to continue with this fund or should switch to Axis Smallcap Fund. If you have not seen my detailed review about Axis Smallcap Fund, you can check it the same. The video link is attached in the card above. So please watch the video till the end. Hello everyone, I am Dhaval and welcome to my channel DIY Finance. Quite a few subscribers have asked me to make video in Hindi language. So I have made this same video in Hindi language also. Link is attached in the card above. Please check the same. If you find my video useful, do like and share the video and also subscribe to my channel. Your likes and shares provide big motivation to make more videos like this. To start with, we all know that Nippon India Smallcap is a good performing fund in its category, that is the small cap category. Here, we will be taking into consideration data of direct plans only. Firstly, let's look at the basic details like AUM, that is total asset under management, which is around 19,200 crores, which is a little bit higher for a small cap fund. While the expense ratio is 0.28%, which is quite low as compared to other schemes. The benchmark index, that is the reference against which the scheme is compared, is Nifty Small Cap 250. Now let's look at the sector-wise allocation. From the table, it is very clear that the fund is almost equally invested in chemicals, technology and consumer staples, while little more allocation is given to capital goods. Quite a good performing small size companies form a part of this sector, and when compared to its benchmark, its allocation is little different, but equal allocation across sectors provide good and consistent growth. Deepak Nitrite and Navin Fluorine are the main stocks of chemical sector, whereas NIIT is the major contributor in technology sector, and Poonawalla Fincorp is from the financial sector. Here also the stock selection looks good. On checking the portfolio allocation, it is evident that the small cap shares form around 45% of the portfolio, whereas mid cap shares form other 43%, and the rest 11% is allocated to large caps. With the above allocation, the fund is able to provide good return with little more risk. When compared to Axis mid cap fund, the small cap share allocation is only 40%, whereas mid cap share forms other 52%. Hence, it can be assumed that the risk in Axis small cap fund is less than that of Nippon India small cap fund. This may not be always true, and we'll see this in the technical analysis where we will compare their parameters. The portfolio allocation is quite good for a long-term investor who don't mind taking little more risk. Mr. Samir Raj has been managing the fund since January 2017, and that too very efficiently, and hope that he continues in future also. Here, this long-standing association of the fund manager with the same scheme is quite positive and an advantage for the scheme. So now let's check the trailing returns and compare with its benchmark and the category. On comparing the trailing returns for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 3 year, 5 years and 7 year, it is evident that it is able to beat the benchmark and category with a good margin, and the fund has been consistent in outperformance for the entire period, which is quite good. Now let's compare its trailing returns with the Axis Small Cap Fund. Here you can see that it beats in all the period except 3 and 5 years returns. This consistent performance of the fund is very positive sign, and investors in this fund need not worry about the performance of the fund. Let's now see the rolling returns for 5 years, 3 years and 1 year. Here the fund is able to beat the index most of the time, which is quite good. When compared to Axis Small Cap Fund, it is around 50-50 for 5 years and 3 year returns, but beats Axis Small Cap Fund for 1 year rolling returns. So broadly, it can be concluded that the fund's performance is better than the category and Axis Small Cap Fund. As it is not very conclusive from the trailing and rolling returns, which fund has better performance, let's also check the actual SIP returns for a SIP amount of Rs 1000 monthly for a period of 8 years. Here also, the return of Nippon India Small Cap Fund is higher than that of a Axis Small Cap Fund, and the margin is also good. Now let's see how the fund performs on risk parameters. Here we'll compare the parameters with the benchmark index and category average. First, mean return, that is the average return in a year, which is 30.29 and is more than both category and the benchmark. Here, higher the value is better. Second, standard deviation, that is a tool to measure how much the return has deviated away from the mean return, which in this case is 28.04, which is less than the index but more than the category average. Here, lower the value is better. The third one, Sharpe ratio, that is a tool to measure the risk adjusted return, which is 0.95, which is more than benchmark index and the category average. Here, higher the value is better. The fourth one, beta, that is the volatility of the scheme compared to the category, which is 0.92, which is more than the category average. Here, lower the value is better. The fifth parameter, alpha, that is a tool that measures how much better the fund has performed compared to the category. Here it is 8.54, which is far more than the category average. Hence, it can be concluded that the fund is able to generate better returns than its benchmark and category, but with a higher standard deviation and more risk. Now let's compare the risk parameters with that of Axis Small Cap Fund also. When comparing with Axis Small Cap Fund, it is not able to beat on any of the parameters. Now let's see the upside and downside capture ratios. The upside capture ratio is the measure of how the fund performed relative to the index during the period when the index rose. Here the value is 104, which indicates that the fund outperformed 4% more than the index during the rise period. Here, higher the value is better. The downside capture ratio is the measure of how the fund performed relative to the index during the period when the index has dropped. Here the value is 88, which indicates that the fund declined 88% as compared to the index during this fall period. Here, lower the value is better. Now let's see the risk return graph. Here on x-axis we have standard deviation, whereas on y-axis we have total returns. It is very evident from the graph that the fund has better total return value with more standard deviation as compared to the category average, which indicates that the fund has been able to generate better returns with more volatility compared to the category. When compared to its index, the fund is able to generate better returns with less volatility. So now coming to the conclusion that what should investors do? First, the existing investors should continue the investment as the fund's performance is quite good, but keep in mind that this comes with a little more volatility and risk. In my opinion, one should not switch to Axis Small Cap Fund as the returns of Nippon India Small Cap Fund is better, especially in last 1 year as compared to the Axis Small Cap Fund. Second, the new investors. They can start new investment as it's good and consistent performing fund, but keep in mind that this also comes with little more volatility, so invest only if you are planning for a long term. I would like to add that I have Nippon India Small Cap Fund in my portfolio and I am not planning to change the scheme till my next review. I will again try to review this fund after 6 to 7 months and check its performance. So stay tuned to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel if you are not done till now and also press the like button. Do check my older videos. Click the attached cards to watch the videos. Thank you.